Do this when life gets hard. Hook. There will be moments in your life when nothing seems to be working. You wake up, but you don't feel motivated. You try, but you don't see results. You keep pushing, but the situation keeps getting worse. The money isn't enough. The opportunity hasn't arrived. The relationship isn't working. Your plans are falling apart. And suddenly, the future you once imagined begins to look impossible. In those moments, your mind will ask you a dangerous question. Why should I keep going? But what if the difficult season you're experiencing isn't the end of your story? What if it's the chapter that is preparing you for the person you're becoming? Because life doesn't become easier simply because you want it to. Sometimes you have to become stronger than the life you're facing. And when life gets hard, there are things you must do. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel motivated. Now. Because your response to difficult seasons will determine the person you become after them. So if you're going through something difficult right now, stay with me until the end. Because we're going to talk about what to do when life gets hard, and how to come out of that season stronger, wiser, calmer, and more powerful than before. Introduction: when life stops going your way. Nobody prepares you for the moments when life suddenly changes. You can have a plan. You can have goals. You can have a clear vision of where you're going. And then one unexpected event can completely change everything. Imagine a young man named Daniel. Daniel had spent years believing that if he worked hard enough, his life would eventually become easier. He studied. He worked. He saved money. He planned his future. He believed he was finally moving forward. Then one morning, he lost his job. At first, Daniel told himself it was temporary. He updated his resume. He applied for another position. Then another. Then another. Weeks became months. The savings began disappearing. Bills continued arriving. People around him started asking questions. Have you found another job? What's your plan? When are things going to change? Every question felt like pressure. Eventually, Daniel stopped telling people how difficult things were. He began isolating himself. He stopped waking up early. He stopped exercising. He stopped working on his goals. And slowly, the problem that had started outside of him began destroying him from the inside. One evening, Daniel sat alone and realized something. Losing his job wasn't what broke him. What broke him was the story he started telling himself afterward. He had decided that because one part of his life had failed, his entire life had failed. And that's one of the greatest dangers of difficult seasons. The situation is painful enough, but then your mind makes it worse. You begin predicting failure. You begin imagining the worst. You begin comparing yourself to everyone else. You begin believing that you're behind. And eventually you stop fighting the problem and start fighting yourself. But difficult seasons require a different response. You need to learn how to separate what is happening to you from who you are. Your circumstances are not your identity. Your failure is not your identity. Your financial situation is not your identity. Your rejection is not your identity. Your current season is not your entire story. So when life gets hard, remember this. You don't need to have everything figured out. You only need to take the next right step. And that brings us to the first thing you must do. Chapter 1. Stop running from the reality. When life becomes painful, your first instinct may be to escape. You distract yourself. You scroll endlessly. You sleep too much. You avoid difficult conversations. You pretend everything is fine. But avoiding reality doesn't make reality disappear. It simply gives the problem more time to grow. The first thing you must do when life gets hard is simple. Face what is happening. Not emotionally. Not dramatically. Honestly. Ask yourself, what exactly is wrong? What is within my control? What is outside my control? What mistake did I make? What can I learn? What needs to change? These questions are powerful because they move you from emotional reaction into intentional action. Imagine you're driving and suddenly see a warning light on your dashboard. Ignoring the warning doesn't fix the engine. Turning up the music doesn't fix the engine. Pretending you didn't see it doesn't fix the engine. You have to stop and investigate. Your life is the same. Sometimes pain is a warning light. It is telling you that something needs attention. Maybe your habits need to change. Maybe your environment is holding you back. Maybe you're spending more than you earn. Maybe you're giving your energy to people who constantly drain you. Maybe you're pursuing something that no longer aligns with your purpose. Maybe you're afraid to make the decision you already know you need to make. Don't run from the truth. The truth may hurt you for a moment, but avoiding it can hurt you for years. When you face reality, you regain power. Because you cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. So take a deep breath. Look at your situation. And tell yourself, this is where I am. But this is not where I have to remain. That's strength. Chapter 2. Control what you can control. One of the fastest ways to destroy your peace is to spend your energy trying to control things you cannot control. You cannot control what people think about you. You cannot control the past. You cannot control whether someone chooses you. You cannot control every economic situation. You cannot control every opportunity. You cannot control how quickly your dreams become reality. But you can control your response. You can control your effort. You can control your discipline. You can control your attitude. You can control what you do today. Think about a storm. You cannot order the clouds to disappear. You cannot command the wind to stop. But you can decide what you do while the storm is happening. You can close the windows. You can protect what matters. You can wait. You can prepare. And eventually the storm passes. Your difficult season is similar. Stop asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what can I do about it? That question changes everything. If you have no money, ask, what skill can I develop? If you've failed, ask, what did this failure teach me? If someone rejected you, ask, what can I improve while continuing forward? If your plan collapsed, ask, what new plan can I build? You don't need control over everything. You need control over your next move. And sometimes your next move is enough. Chapter 3. Don't make permanent decisions during temporary pain. There is something you must understand about difficult seasons. Pain can distort your thinking. When you're exhausted, everything feels impossible. When you're disappointed, everything feels pointless. When you're afraid, every risk looks dangerous. And when you're angry, you may say things you don't truly mean. That's why you must learn to pause. Don't destroy your future because today hurts. Don't quit your dream because you're tired. Don't walk away from your purpose because progress is slow. Don't make a permanent decision based on a temporary emotional state. Imagine planting a seed. For days, nothing appears above the ground. You might think nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, roots are developing. Growth isn't always visible. Your life can be like that. You may be working, learning, practicing, saving, improving, and seeing almost nothing. That doesn't necessarily mean nothing is happening. Sometimes your greatest development happens where nobody can see it. So when you feel like giving up, tell yourself, I will not make a permanent decision from a temporary emotion. Rest if you need to. Reflect if you need to. Change direction if necessary. But don't surrender your entire future because one chapter is painful. Chapter 4. Return to the basics. When life becomes chaotic, simplify. Wake up. Make your bed. Take care of your body. Drink water. Eat properly. Exercise. Pray or reflect. Read. Work. Sleep. Repeat. It sounds simple. But simple doesn't mean insignificant. When everything around you feels uncertain, routines create stability. You don't need to solve your entire life in one day. You need to create one good day, then another, then another. Eventually, those days become weeks. Those weeks become months. And those months become a completely different life. Remember Daniel from the beginning? He eventually realized he had been waiting to feel motivated before taking action. So he stopped waiting. Every morning, he woke up at the same time. He exercised. He applied for jobs. He studied a new skill. He contacted people. He worked on a small business idea. Some days were terrible, but he kept his routine. 6 months later, Daniel wasn't the same person. His circumstances had improved, but more importantly, he had improved. The difficult season had forced him to develop discipline. Sometimes you don't need a miracle. Sometimes you need structure. Chapter 5. Stop comparing your journey. Nothing makes a difficult season feel worse than constantly looking at someone else's life. You open social media. Someone bought a house. Someone got married. Someone launched a business. Someone traveled. Someone got promoted. Someone seems to have everything you want. And suddenly your own progress looks small. But remember, you're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. You don't know their struggles. You don't know their sacrifices. You don't know what they had to overcome. And you don't know what their future holds. Your journey is your journey. A tree doesn't look at another tree and complain because it grew faster. It simply continues growing. You need to do the same. Measure yourself against who you were yesterday. Are you wiser? Are you more disciplined? Are you stronger? Are you learning? Are you becoming more responsible? Then you're moving forward. Don't let someone else's timeline make you hate your own. Your chapter 5 doesn't need to look like someone else's. Chapter 20. Stay on your path. Chapter 6. Use pain as fuel. Pain can destroy you. But pain can also develop you. The difference is how you use it. Every difficult experience contains a lesson. Rejection can teach resilience. Failure can teach humility. Loss can teach appreciation. Pressure can teach discipline. Loneliness can teach self-reliance. Mistakes can teach wisdom. You don't have to love the pain, but you can refuse to waste it. Ask yourself, what is this experience trying to teach me? Maybe life is teaching you patience. Maybe it's teaching you boundaries. Maybe it's teaching you discipline. Maybe it's teaching you that you cannot depend on everyone. Maybe it's teaching you that you are stronger than you thought. Imagine a piece of coal. Under pressure and over time, it can become something extraordinary. Pressure doesn't automatically produce greatness, but the right response to pressure can transform you. So don't simply ask, why am I suffering? Ask, who can I become because I went through this? That question turns pain into purpose. Chapter 7. Protect your mind. When life gets hard, you cannot afford to fill your mind with negativity all day. Be careful what you consume. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful what conversations you repeatedly have with yourself. If you constantly tell yourself, I can't, I'm finished, nothing works for me, I'll never succeed, eventually your behavior begins following those beliefs. Instead, train your mind. Tell yourself, I can handle this. I don't have to solve everything today. I will keep moving. I can learn from this. This season will not define me. These aren't magic words. They are mental reminders. Because your mind needs direction, especially when circumstances are trying to control it. You don't control every thought that enters your mind. But you can decide which thoughts deserve to stay. Protect your mental environment. Your future depends on it. Chapter 8. Keep moving, even if it's slow. One of the biggest mistakes people make during difficult seasons is believing that slow progress is the same as no progress. It isn't. Walking is still movement. Learning one page is still learning. Saving a small amount is still saving. Making one phone call is still progress. Doing one workout is still progress. Writing one paragraph is still progress. You don't have to move fast. You just have to keep moving. Think about climbing a mountain. If you stare at the summit every second, you may become overwhelmed. Instead, look at the next step. Then another. Then another. Eventually, you look back and realize you've climbed much farther than you thought. Life works the same way. Don't obsess over the entire mountain. Focus on today's step. One day. One decision. One action. One improvement at a time. That's how difficult seasons are conquered. Chapter 9. Remember who you are becoming. Sometimes the greatest thing you can do during a difficult season is remember that you're becoming someone. You are not simply trying to survive. You're developing character. You're developing patience. You're developing courage. You're developing discipline. You're developing wisdom. And those qualities will matter long after the current problem is gone. One day, you may look back at this period of your life and realize, that was the season that changed me. The season that forced you to grow. The season that made you stop making excuses. The season that taught you to value yourself. The season that taught you discipline. The season that made you stronger. Don't waste the transformation. If life is forcing you to grow, grow. If life is teaching you patience, become patient. If life is teaching you courage, become courageous. Become the person your future requires. Chapter 10. Get up and take the next step. And now we come to the most important part. You can understand everything we've discussed. You can feel inspired. You can recognize your mistakes. But nothing changes until you act. So ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today? Not next month. Not next year. Today. Make the phone call. Send the application. Start the business. Open the book. Go for the walk. Save the money. Apologize. Set the boundary. Learn the skill. Create the plan. Take the first step. It doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be real. Because your life changes through actions, not intentions. And if you're watching this while going through something difficult, I want you to remember something. You are allowed to be tired. But don't give up. You are allowed to feel afraid. But don't let fear make your decisions. You are allowed to cry. But don't forget to get back up. You are allowed to rest. But don't abandon your journey. You are allowed to have a difficult season. But don't turn a difficult season into a permanent identity. You are still here. And as long as you're still here, there is still something you can do. Final message: this is not the end. Maybe life is hard right now. Maybe nobody understands what you're carrying. Maybe you're fighting battles you haven't told anyone about. Maybe you're wondering when things will finally change. I don't know exactly what you're facing. But I know this. You don't have to solve your entire life today. Take the next step. Then another. Control what you can control. Accept what you cannot control. Protect your mind. Take care of your body. Learn from your pain. Stop comparing yourself. Keep moving. And never forget that difficult seasons do not last forever. The storm is not permanent. The night is not permanent. The struggle is not permanent. There will be another morning. There will be another opportunity. There will be another chance to begin again. And when that moment comes, I want you to be ready. Not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. So when life gets hard, don't ask, why me? Ask, what can this make me? When you lose, learn. When you fall, rise. When you're rejected, redirect. When you're tired, rest, but don't surrender. When you're afraid, move anyway. When you don't know what to do, take the next right step. And when everything around you tells you to quit, remember why you started. Your current circumstances are not your final destination. Your worst day is not your whole life. Your failure is not your identity. Your struggle is not your ending. This is simply a chapter. And you still have the power to write the next one. So get up. Take a breath. Stand tall. Clear your mind. And take one more step. Because you may be closer than you think. Master your mind.